Time to look at the front pages of some select national dailies today to bring you up to speed with the stories making the headlines across some of the front pages. And we're going to start with a look at the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for today. Starting from the top, airlines trapped funds. Pressure mounts despite $61 million release. Why is that? More on page 23. 100 days of war on Gaza. Israel kills 23,968 Palestinians and counting. More on that devastating situation on page 38. How about this one? Trending story over the weekend. Probably going to ruin your mood this morning. Bandits hold 5 sisters after killing one in Abuja. Demand 100 million naira. Pantami's friend raises 50 million naira. 4 other captives killed in Kaduna. Ilorin Union urges federal government to rescue abductees. The police says we have intensified rescue operations. And you can see that beautiful family that has been completely torn apart by this particular incident. And this just becomes emblematic, Sumaya, of what many other families have had to go through with this kidnapping and banditry activities across the country. More on this story on page 3. Super Eagles avoid upset against Equatorial Guinea. You know this year's slogan, right? No grief for anybody. None of the underdogs in AFCON are agreeing for anybody. Ghana was collecting, Egypt was collecting. Every top team that normally gets to cruise over these much smaller teams are just collecting goals. And we beat this team actually, the last 2 times we met, Equatorial Guinea. But we had to, come from a goal down to get a point. Let's see how the rest of the journey continues for the Super Eagles. More on the latest of AFCON on page 39. Arewa Consultative Forum, Northern Elders Forum meet over North's challenges, and it has everything to do with security. Federal Capital Territory primary school teachers begin strike today. What? I thought school just resumed. Well,
yeah, it's the right time
you
to
don't
hit
go
the
on strike
government
when you're on holiday, do you? So I guess now is the perfect time. Well, anyway, these are some of the stories you can find on the pages of today's Daily Trust newspaper.
All right, let's move on to the Nation. From the top of the page there, wasteful Eagles failed to win the AFCON opener. Shocker for Ghana and Egypt. You find that on page 38. Food forex pressures the push inflation to 29%. Experts hopeful on recovery. Edo 2024, the APC invites Oshomole, Ize-Iyamu and others. Ikimi, we are with Igodalo. Okay, you'll find that on page 5. Below the headmaster there, President won't spare culprits after probe into Humanitarian Affairs Ministry. We'll campaign on that.
Kind of warms is
Indeed. The major story here says Supreme Court verdict, APC did not trade off Kano and Plateau. It's purely a legal matter, and Victoria's governors hailed Tinubu's non-interference. I mean, it shouldn't even need to be any praise.
Morally speaking, you realize that was justice, because at the end of the day, who actually won the election? Indeed. These individuals who survived the Supreme Court ruling. So, yeah, not many people are really upset about it.
All right, away from that, government to change approach on disco's funding. Electricity distributors fall to pay dividend in 12 years. President gets kudos for anti-graft moves. Below there, we see LIRS affirms January 31st deadline for annual tax returns submissions. And then right now we'll head on, of course, due to time, to talk about these things, review the topic. We have Dr. Lanre Oluniyi, a public affairs analyst, joining us to review the papers this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, let's start by, the horrific, situation happening that has kept the streets and even Nigerians in general at a very tense situation about the 5 sisters that are still being abducted and the situation that happened, in Bari Area Council of Abuja. What is your take on everything, the situation? I mean, one thing you would say is if we keep even giving these people money to get this to get the abductors out, then it's like pushing them to say, okay, go on, continue doing this. But then right now they are putting a stamp for down their foot down, saying we are going to kill somebody if you don't do it. If we give them this money, don't you think that it would give them this boost of saying, okay, next, if we don't get it, we can easily kill people and use it as example?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I know bandit issues is a dicey game. It's neither here nor there. There are many angles you must look at this situation. If you could remember when they started in Sanfara towards Castina, the former governor of Kaduna State said, Nasir Lerufa, that he would never pay ransom to any bandit. Immediately he said that, they moved down to his state. And they started kidnapping, all sorts of things that happen in Kaduna State. Is it good to pay them ransom? They will tell you it's not encouraging. Because the more they get the money, the more they use the money to get more ammunition for themselves. Is it good to leave our sister in their custody because we don't want to pay money? The answer is no. Are we supposed to fight these people like a guerrilla warfare so that we attack them at the same time we lost some victims? That's why I tell you, it's neither near or there. I say we are just deceiving ourselves. The only way forward is that there are people among the system, there are people in the community, there are people among us that are in collaborative with them. So until you get those people, I could remember when the former governor of Kaduna State shut down network, shut down my motorcycle in Kaduna about 2 months, they discovered that a lot of the motorcyclists are part of these people. They are the ones going out there to get them recharge card, to get them food, to get them information. So when I say it's near, not there, I know I don't want to go deep. I can only just give you just a tips of the iceberg. So that's why people that have deeper knowledge can go and ruminate on it.
Yeah, but also there is a sense of acceptance, isn't it? That we've accepted that this is the reality and there's nothing we can do about it. When for most people, this is at a crisis point where you declare a state of emergency to show the urgency that we're really trying to go nuclear on these groups that are not necessarily bigger than the Nigerian military or security architecture itself. Is it fair to say that we're not deploying and showing that will to get rid of banditry, and that is why incidents like this keep popping up?
Yeah, if you understand my background, what I'm trying to lay on ground, you will discover that this is not a guerrilla warfare. This is not like Boko Haram in Borno. This is a battle that is within us, and they have a lot of victims around them as a shield. That is the reason why the former President Muhammadu Buhari, they refused to use Super Tucano on them. Because if they use Super Tucano on them, we are going to lose a lot of victims in their custody. So it's not something that they can sporadically wipe them out, because you violate the international law.
Yeah, but they don't have victims at all times. I mean, we have taken them out most recently in Nasarawa State just this weekend. Another bandit leader was eliminated. And we've seen so many of these victories happen over the past couple of months, where through targeted strikes, the Nigerian Air Force and the Nigerian military has successfully carried out operations that neutralize some of these groups in their pockets of operations. But Nigerians don't get the sense that the government is going at it in all cylinders. It is not firing in all cylinders trying to get rid of the situation. Do you think that that is a fair assessment, that we're not deploying everything that we have at this phenomenon?
You know, to be fair to this government, to this present government, there is a lot of improvement. Let's be sincere.
Would you say
I'm not
I mean,
here.
considering
I'm
the
not here to
insecurity-
defend the government, and I'm not here. I'm not a spokesperson of the government. But let's be sincere, because issue of banditry from where it is before, from till now, we are not happy about this situation. But as far as I'm concerned, the case is just a skeletal issue now, unlike before. You will check before the election all manner of 100 kidnapping, 150
But it's
student
still happening.
kidnapping.
Even at the,
No, I'm not saying it's
we,
not
we
happening.
agree
I'm not
that
saying- I'm not saying
the
it's not
federal
happening.
government is working, but would we say that the people are feeling the impact of what the federal government is doing?
For now, you can't feel the impact if your family or relative is in the custody of bandits. To be fair and to be just, are you getting it? But to be realistic, I will tell you that as far from the time they change all these army chiefs and other stuff, especially this government, there has been a lot of drastic reduction from the way they operate. That's the truth. We knew what happened on a daily basis or weekly basis between Jere to Abuja Junction in Kaduna. We knew what happened in those aspects. But for the past 3-4 months, we have not able to hear any tangible, are you getting it? Any tangible mass or abduction.
Okay, on that particular note, if we can circle back to what Sumaya asked a little later, we're seeing a new trend develop, and we don't know if this is going to happen with other bandit groups across the north or other parts of the country, where they usually hold the victims for long. I remember in Zamfara with the Federal University of Gusau students, the bandits came out and said, listen, we're tired of taking care of them. Feeding them is proving to be a strain. We're going to kill them if you don't pay the ransom. That is usually the threat. We're going to kill. This time around, we're seeing them actually killing people to send a message, because the family called when they asked for 60 million and say, we're unable to raise all of the money, but we have half of the money. And then they decide to kill one of the girls just to send a message, and then jack up the ransom demand to 100 million. What does that tell us about how much harder it's going to be to deal with these bandits, especially if they begin to operate this way?
You know, like I said, it's a funny thing that we cannot, people were mounting prayer on the former president that they should declare them terrorists. It's a funny thing that they are not yet been declared as a terrorist.
But they are being treated like terrorists.
Yes, and the way they operate is too high. And that is the reason why Nigeria government cannot go after them like a terrorist. That's to be kind. It's a failure on any government, on any lives that is being lost in the country. We agree on that. But to deal with these people, for instance, we have Super Tucano. Are you getting it? And anytime, if Nigeria government engage this banditry with Super Tucano, the international community will frown at it. That when you told us you want to buy Super Tucano, you told us you are going to use it to fight terrorism. That is why we allow you to get this instrument. So any instrument that is beyond it, because they have not seen banditry as a terrorist group, they still see it as a criminal act being perpetrated within the country, that they should look for another mechanism to deal with them. So the onus is now on our military men to see what they can do before this, because they have been using that tactics for a long time. That is of bring this. There are some people that they even collected money from them, they still kill them. Okay. Yes, they will collect the whole money in the presence of the people that brought the money. They shot the victims. So it's not a good incident in our community, in our nation, but I still believe that the only way out is let the military start looking for more alternative, because we'll have wiped, people believe that, we can wipe them out. Okay. We can quickly look at the forest, throw bomb there, throw this there. Yes, but quote and unquote, there is no any president that want to be charged for genocide after you leave office. That is why you can see every president is being careful about banditry.
I think we can live with that if it brings us an end to the banditry situation in the country. But let's segue and take a look at the front page of the Nation newspaper, because I think we have some of the headlines that we can quickly take a look at, especially with developments from the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry investigations that is looking into the past activities of the former minister Sadia Umar, the current suspended minister Bete Edu, and the national coordinator of the National Social Investment Program Agency, Halima Salih, who is also embroiled in all of the controversy. The presidency says there will be no sacred cows as far as this investigation is concerned, and we're yet to get any sort of feelers from the EFCC because investigations are underway. But the president has doubled down to set up a committee that would look into reforming the activities of the ministry, and who will be chaired by the Minister of Economy, Wale Edun. Give me a sense of what you've seen so far and what that says about the fight against graft under the current administration.
It's a welcome idea, because so far so good, I believe Nigerians are a little bit happy to this incident, because immediately they got the information and it reached the presidency, and there is immediate action. Suspension first, reliever of her duty, and let her face the investigation. She reported herself to the anti-graft agency. Fine. So the only thing we can appeal to the government is that we don't want this case to look like the other cases that Nigeria have been hearing. Because one thing about this country is that you just hear, and I want to appeal to the media, they must follow up these cases to your letters. Because all this today, I'm not moved all the time by all this noise. Former governor has been arrested. Former governor has been charged to court. What happened after 2-3 times in the court? And when they see that every Nigerians have gone back to their base, that's the end of the matter.
So you're cautiously optimistic about what to expect?
Yes.
Okay.
Even after the president has given his own word, is saying that nobody is going to be spared. I mean, this is the
It's not
that
today.
we're seeing.
It's not today we are hearing president to say he has given his word. You can hear President Buhari all the time. I assure you to go and do this. Forget all this. Okay. We have used to all those ones.
Let's wrap up on the... This is what Nigeria can do to you, actually. Let's wrap up on the Supreme Court developments. Your 2 cents on that. What we're hearing right now is that, listen, there was no arrangement outside of or under the table to spare Kano or Plateau State. The governor has come out to say, listen, the president could have easily influenced the Supreme Court to get rid of me. He didn't do it. We're hearing that Kano, no side deals were made to keep Abba Kabir in place. I mean, even if that is true, it tells us that, some of these deals are really happening, and that's why they're saying that it didn't happen this time. Your thoughts on that?
One of the major things that always make me unhappy in this country is because we are not yet become a nation that institutionalize our system. The system does not flow on its own. Executive branch flow on your own, legislative flow on your own, judiciary flow on your own. But it's unfortunate that the executive arm, as at this time, you'll be talking that executive arm is influencing the judiciary arm.
It's like an older brother, isn't it?
Yeah. So it does not make the democracy have any meaning to us any longer. Because everybody just believe if Mr. President want to do this, he would have done that. What is that? Is not even a narrative.
It's an indictment to actually say that.
All right. So, thank you so much for your time, for joining us to review the front pages this morning. Dr. Larry Oluniyi, Public Affairs.
Oluwaniyi.
Oluwaniyi.
I knew there was an A somewhere that was missing. I've never heard of Oluniyi. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
All right, and with that, of course, we have come to the end of Daybreak on Trust Television. Please do stick around. At the top of the hour, Emmanuel Fashimi will bring you 360 Sports, where you can talk about the AFCON. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Do have a lovely week.
My name is Abdullah Ahmed. Thank you, as always, for your time and company. Daybreak returns tomorrow live at 8 a.m. Until then, good morning. Have a lovely day.